The sun is approaching a supernova. Explosion is imminent. So you need to make a ship and fly your way to safety. Luckily, you ran into this awesome junkyard full of unused ship pieces that will help you build the ultimate spaceship. Junkyard by Paper Street Comics is a 2 to 4 player game for 5+. That's a young cadet. Will race to survival by building the most prominent spaceship to fly to safety. This can happen in around 20 minutes and is fantastic for a family game night, young families, game night fillers, and new player gaming. It's a simple game with an easy rulebook, so let's check it out.
Today I'll be going over Junkyard by Paper Street Comics. Inside of Junkyard you'll find 55 cards. These are all going to be upside down as the Junkyard pile and a rulebook. So go ahead and shuffle up your pile, your Junkyard, and draw 3 cards. Make sure they're all spaceship pieces. If they are not, if you got an action or a solar flare, just discard it and draw back up till you get 3 pieces. Then you can start forming your ship. To form a ship, you need a front and a back, and you have till the end of the game to figure that out. So we're going to play to 3 solar flares. We're going to play with 2 players, but for this demonstration, I'm just going to show you how to play the game. But imagine it every time you take a card, which is your action, and you do what the card says, whether it be playing it or doing the action or putting the solar flare where you're putting the solar flare. Oh my god, putting the solar flare somewhere, the next player will go. But for this demonstration, let's just keep it 1 player, baby. So I played this, and the reason why is because this is a wild star. So the stars are wild. So I can connect it to the shield symbol because it's wild. Colors don't matter yet. So now I have this. It doesn't connect to anything, so I'm just going to keep it on the side. So then I'll draw, and now I have a star and a shield. Okay, so I can do a couple things actually. What I'm going to do is probably resequence it really quick. Just like that. And now I have a bigger ship. I have a ship that connects from star to triangle, triangle to triangle, shield to shield, and then I have the X, right? Well, let's say that I draw an action card. This one says draw 2 cards. So I'll shuffle that back in and draw 2 cards. So this is what I drew. So the solar flare. I said 3 solar flares and the game ends. So I'll put this to the side, 2 more and that round's over. Then I also got a back piece. Now a ship cannot score unless you have a front piece and a back piece. So I'll connect it here because the wilds connect to any symbol. So now let's say I would have drawn this card. This is a cross. So just for this example, if you have a cross and you draw another cross at some point, you can actually connect them like this, and that just helps you build a larger ship. You could build a ship, up like this now. Doesn't matter the symbols or colors as long as they connect, and you can start building off both of them. So what happens when the game ends? Well, you could resequence, and what that means is, you could look at your cards and ask yourself what might be a better placement. Would this be better or whatever you want to do. But I think that my setup's pretty great already, and then you'll start tallying points. So any back end and front end is going to be 10 points. Every cross section is 10 points, and then every center card is 5 points. So 10, 20, 25, 30, 35. Then you get bonus points. So when symbols also have a matching color, so this one has the 2 matching symbols but 2 different colors. This is 2 matching symbols and the same color. That'd be 5 bonus points. So it'd be 10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And this would be a 40-point ship right here. And of course, you're not tallying points until you've drawn as many solar flares as you choose to draw at the beginning of the game.
So right off the bat, you can sense the simplicity in this game. I love it. It's accessible for being easy to teach and quick to play. I like the idea of a junkyard being scattered across the floor, building the immersion of scavenging for working pieces, which also plays the role of the game. Your ship will not fly unless you have a front piece and a back piece attached to it. And when I say fly, what that actually interprets to is scoring the most points versus everyone else who's also playing in this game. Each card is decorated uniquely, whether you're doing shark tanks or sundaes, like Sunday splits, or even having a cat front end. All 55 cards have a unique drawing on it, and each card represents something as far as points go, whether it's the front, the end, the cross sections, or just the middle pieces and how they line up, whether it be with symbols or symbols and colors. The resequencing part of the game is really cool too, something I really like, because even after the game's over, once you pulled all the solar flares, you can actually rearrange the ship in order to score the most points. And then of course from that point on, everyone scores their points and you see who comes out on top. I also have to give a good old shout out to the variances available in the rulebook. It does add a nice depth of difficulty, whether you're playing with reshuffling the solar flares or if you're doing bonus points at the end based off like consecutive colors or something like that. It's a great way to go from an easy game to like a more of a strategic game. What I'm not a big fan of is the scoring, and I'm not saying the way that the game scores, because I really like the way the game scores with bonuses and such, but it's how the game scores. I found it very difficult to go through my spaceship and count it correctly without missing a card or scoring something incomplete, and that could just be a personal issue. I just cannot count.
10, 20, 25, 30, 35. Then you get...
But when I'm going through the fronts, backs, when I'm having like using the cross sections to build 2 different ships, and I'm counting all the fronts and all the backs, and then I'm going through all the regular cards and then trying to count all the bonus cards. Did I count a card already? Did I miss a card? I'm gonna have to count again. And I felt that it took a lot of time actually, even after the game, to get back into a new game, was the scoring. But I think at some point I'll kind of get it down and figure out a good way to do so. My final thoughts is whether you have toddlers learning colors and shapes and teaching them how to match them together, or you just finished a long game of Gloomhaven, Junkyard is a 20-minute card game that creates the family bond or cools down the heat of a heavy tactical. Its zany graphics and simple gameplay lighten the mood, and the difficulty in the variants gives us a good 2 to 4 player quick high score experience. I like this game. It's fun, it's easy, and a cool concept. So if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe and like and leave a comment. Hit the notifications if you want to keep track of when I do upload videos. I upload them pretty often, or at least try to. I do appreciate you watching this video and making it to the end as well. If this looks good, definitely check it out. Have a nice day.